I've just bought this lot of records at my local auction house. The online catalogue indicates this lot is 2 boxes of vinyl LPs and compilation records, including 1980s pop. You can see from the images, Blondie Parallel Lines. I recognise the album underneath it from the sleeve. And in a second image, you can see a full box there. I went along to view this lot before the auction day. It's the albums towards the back of this box that I was most interested in. Let's take a look at these records. There are quite a few greatest hits and best ofs in this lot, as well as compilations. So yes, there's Parallel Lines. The album below is Kate Bush, Hounds of Love. The sleeves and the vinyl in this lot are all VG Plus excellent. We have some Madonna albums. This is a pretty typical 1980s collection. In fact, there are quite a few 1970s titles, which we'll see in a second. Fleetwood Mac's Greatest Hits. So as you see, quite a few Greatest Hits best ofs. There are 5 Dire Straits albums. These are all very clean. If you're new to my videos, I do sell records at record fairs, and in collections I buy, if there's any titles that I would like to keep for myself, I'm building up my own collection of vinyl records. It's a couple of Thompson Twins. That does include the free 5-track album of remixes. So there's nothing to get overly excited about so far. However, 3 Boomtown Rats albums. So this is an album. And we have some ELO. Okay, Out of the Blue is black vinyl. It does include the poster and also includes the spaceship, the card spaceship. So I'm sure this was a single owner collection, and obviously the person that had bought these albums back in the 70s and 80s was very keen on greatest hits and best ofs. As a reseller, I don't mind that. I find them quite easy to sell at my record fairs. So we have some more Kate Bush. So as you can hopefully see, these sleeves are in very clean and pretty tidy. A little bit of wear to one or two of the corners, but pretty good. There's a few Cockney Rebel and Steve Harley. A bit of a tear to that sleeve. There's a few more Blondie. And then there's quite a few Simon & Garfunkel. As well as a couple of Paul Simon solo. We have some Eagles. Hotel California does include the poster. There's a little sticker there. Don't usually see that on the sleeves. And their greatest hits, of course. A couple of Belindas. Right, now we have some Pet Shop Boys. There's 3 Pet Shop Boys albums. Always happy to have these. Disco, Introspective. And particularly this one, Behaviour. Now, I'd not had this album before to sell. It's a 1990 album. I think it's relatively... I don't think I've actually ever seen it at a record fair. I'm sure if I looked hard enough I'd find it, but you're not going to see this title too often. Again, lovely condition, that one. Alice Cooper's Greatest Hits. Right, then we have some John. Imagine does include the poster and the original inner sleeve and the photo card. Walls and Bridges with the trick sleeve. Unfortunately, it's lost the top third of the sleeve has torn off. It's not within the record itself, which is a shame. Then we have some Paul. Band on the Run does include the poster. That's the double best of. Then we have some George, extra texture, the textured sleeve. And we have a Ringo, which does include the booklet in the middle. You can probably see where this is going now. We're towards the back of this box. We then have these Beatles albums. These are all 1970s reissues, but again, sleeves and vinyl, largely excellent on these. Again, of course, familiar titles. Always going to sell at record fairs if the condition's right and the price is right. Does include the cutout insert. Does include the 24-page booklet, still stapled in the middle. So the Beatles, the White Album, is the 1970s reissue, numbered, side loader, does include all of the inserts. A little bit of laminate lift there. It's a little tear. This is a German pressing. There's a little tear to the top of the sleeve there. That's black vinyl. And lastly, in the Beatles section, this is a double 2 LP set. Some very good titles there. Happy to get those. Then in the second box, it's a bundle here of these year by year series of 25 years of rock and roll. I probably won't be selling those. There's quite a few titles in this second box that I will, like as not, be donating, or they will perhaps they'll go into my bargain box, 2 for a £5. But first of all, there are some decent best-ofs and compilations even in this second box. Double albums of the Stones. There's a Mark Bolan and T-Rex double. Roy Wood Story. Sold that before. 2 record set of Mamas and the Papas. History of the Hollies, and so on. Elvis 40 Greatest. A couple of Elton's best-ofs. That's a Doors compilation. Jimmy Ruffin, Tom Tamler, as is the Four Tops. A couple of comps there, Atlantic Soul comp. All very clean again. There's a couple of nows, that's now 2, and there's a now 14, which actually is about a £10 album. And a couple of other 2 album sets of comps of various tracks. Soundtrack, Fistful of Dollars. And so on. A couple of 12-inch singles. And after that, there's some albums which will be either donated or I'll go into my bargain box. Towards the back of the box, there are quite a few comps, mainly of 1960s artists. I won't probably be selling any of those. I'm likely to be donating those. So that's a decent bundle of albums there. So altogether, this lot cost, the hammer price was £300, and the buyer's premium was 79, so it's £379. There's about 180 titles in this lot, There's going to be about 60, so that would work out to be just over £2 a title on average. That said, there's probably 50 or 60 in this box here, which I'm not going to be selling. They'll be donated, as I say, or maybe go into I'll put them back to auction in a job lot. So it probably makes, allowing for those, it probably makes the average cost of the albums in this lot about £3. So more than happy with that, with the titles we've seen, so certainly in the first box. There is one I'm going to keep myself, which is this one, Pet Shop Boys Behaviour. It's the album that had the singles Being Boring and So Hard on, 1990. Thank you for watching. If you like this sort of video, please give this a thumbs up. There are some other collections I will be looking at soon,